Heartaches by the Number. This is a song that's headed toward the top 10. It's a swinger. Shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa Pop, Little Anthony, the Imperials.
Shimmy, bop, shimmy, shimmy, cocoa bop, shimmy, shimmy, bop. Sitting in a native hut all alone and blue. Sitting in a native hut wondering what to do. Along came a native girl, did a native dance. It was like in paradise, put me in a trance. Going shimmy, shimmy, cocoa bop, shimmy, shimmy, bop. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa bop, shimmy, shimmy, bop. Joined her in her dancing spree, felt my spine and tingle. Held her tight and close to me, man, I'm glad I'm single. Then she showed me what to do. First I was amazed. Soon I learned a step or two, put me in a daze. Going shimmy, shimmy, cocoa bop, shimmy, shimmy, bop. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa bop, shimmy, shimmy, bop. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa bop, shimmy, shimmy, bop. You can do the cocoa bop, now no time to stop. Left forward, right one back, bring them side by side. I syncopation, last two steps, now you're gonna glide. Keep along the rhythm track, girls, please show 'em how. Now you start to arch your back, man, you got it now. Going shimmy, shimmy, cocoa bop, shimmy, shimmy, bop. 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 Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa bop, shimmy, shimmy, bop.
And from 1959, that was Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Bop. You might not know that song from that version, but of course you'll know it because those many covered songs that we're going to talk about over the next half hour. The movie Big, Tom Hanks, that theme. But this is a great song, number 24 on the Billboard charts, and is a great anthem for a great time. I'm just so jealous I wasn't alive for it. I missed it, and it makes me sad, but I get to live the ending of it, and that's just as good. My guest from Little Anthony and the Imperials, the man himself, and the Imperials, the man himself, the rock and roll legend, the Hall of Famer, the icon, Little Anthony. Anthony, how are you?
Such a build-up. I'm flattered, but flattery will get you everywhere.
I aim to please.
Yes. Yeah, man. Thank you so much. Yeah. Oftentimes I think to myself, how could this little nappy-head boy from Brooklyn, who really wasn't going to be a brain surgeon, end up being in a business that he thought it was just something he did naturally, sing, and
Hard to believe.
And still doing it. And I'm grateful and honored and blessed by God to be able to do what I was designed to do. You have some people say, I don't know what my purpose is. Well, I know what it is. I know what mine is. It's right now talking to you. It's all part of the whole structure. I know what mine is. It's right now talking to you. It's all part of the whole structure.
And you know what? That's exactly how my career has gone, except I have no singing talent. So those that can sing, those that can't interview singers. So here I am.
Some people think the same thing about me.
Now, I had a few wonderful conversations with your son, littler Anthony.
Yeah, totally.
And he was telling me something that really why you feel the way you feel. You're not a doo-wop artist. You're a rhythm and blues singer and rock and roller. Would that be accurate?
Yeah, contemporary R&B, because pure R&B is almost a mixture of blues, and that's what they call R&B, rhythm and blues. But I came through so many different eras and spans of musical, different eras and spans of musical, my musical journey. I started out as a kid in New York. In those days, there was no name called doo-wop. That came later in 1973 out of New York City from a disc jockey called Something Gossett, he didn't know how to explain to people what that style of music was. But we corner rhythm and blues singers from the greats all the way back from the Ravens, all the way to the Orioles, to the Moonglows, to the Crows. I can go on and on and on, just like I did with the rappers today. We were all urban singers from the streets. And that's how whatever it was, we knew we can sing. And that was the thing then. We knew we can sing. And that was the thing then. And this is even before Alan Freed. This is back in the day, a couple of years before Alan Freed became Alan Freed, And as a kid of 14, 15 years old, 13, we were listening to the groups at that time. And I lived in New York, and we sang in the hallway, sang in school bathrooms, because the echo, the tile on the walls was conducive for echo sound. It always made you sound better. It still does to this day. So it's so profoundly used. And that's what we thought we were. And then they gave us the name doo-wop. But my journey, at that time, like the Paragons and people like that, the harp tones with Willie Winfield and all these kind of people, and that's how we learned the flamingos, and we would do that, and that became a phenomenon. And of course, then Alan Freed adopted it, and he was the first white jockey to actually play what they call race music at that time, or black music, or black R&B music. We were listening to like Dr. Jive with Tommy Smalls and all those kind of people, and Georgie Woods out of Philadelphia, just Jocko Henderson. I can go on and on and on as my mind connects, but this was our world. So if anybody who listens to our music, you can see the progression of how we grow as performers, and that's something unique, because the Beatles are the same way. You remember how the Beatles used to sound,
right,
when they first started, and then where they ended up? Yeah. So we were growing, and we had sort of bridged that pop world with the R&B world by mistake, because we got with a record company called N and Gordon Records. And I'm capsulizing them because there's a lot more to go on with this, because I do have I have my own radio show on Sirius Radio, and I go on with this because I do have I have my own radio show on Sirius Radio, and I discuss this all the time, and how it worked. But pertaining to your question, your first question is that am I a doo-wop singer? No. That am I a doo-wop singer? No. We used to be, or what you call street singer, which they call doo-wop, when I was a kid. That was the thing going. But we sort of graduated. We kept going up, and different experiences came into our life. So the music obviously changed as we got older. From kids of 16, 17 years old, we end up in our 20s, and we go from George Golden, who was the president of Gone and Then Records, doing Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Bop and all those, and Prayer on the Jukebox and hundreds of songs, it seems like. But I mean, Tears of My Pillow, I think was a catalyst of taking us to another level. Sort of as I was told by other people, who like jockeys and things, they said it bridged the R&B or streetcar music with pop music. Because Tears of My Pillow was not your typical record that was out there at that time. It was very gentile.
Oh.
Don't remember me, the Annunciation, and everything was like this. It wasn't all in your face R&B. So we actually, in fact, I talked to Otis Williams of the Temptations about this a few times. We talked about that, how he saw us. Look where they're going, and then we went through that era, which is 1958 to 1961, and we were recording that sort of thing. Now we moved into this gentile. I don't know if the word is right I'm using, but in my vocabulary, but we were like all alone in this little place. But from that, we inspired others. We were told, that began to say, "Wait a minute, there's another way to sing this stuff." And all of a sudden, you start hearing people like Frankie Avalon, way to sing this stuff. And all of a sudden, you start hearing people like Frankie Avalon,
Right.
singing Venus, and all that starts to happen because prior to that, it was raw.
So you were basically on the cusp.
On the cusp.
As it was maturing, you were maturing along with it.
Right along with it, yes. And that doesn't mean that everybody did, but we did. I mean, also before us was a group called the Heart Tones with Willie Winfield, and they had a producer by the name of Raul. What was his name? Raul Cedar, who was really taking them in the harmonics into 4-part harmony, which was different than, say, street corners singing a simple harmony,
right,
as opposed to barbershop quartets. They're different, but the harmonies are the same, but just used differently. So we were on the cusp, as you say, of the change, the transition, at the right time, at the right place, and then we just went on to begin to leave from the world that they then began to call doo-wop. We already left that. You know what I mean? We left that station. But especially Americans, we tend to find things just the way we see it. Maybe different than the Europeans and the Asians, but we do that. We're quick to label something so we can understand it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's what it was intended to be, but that's the way it is. And that's how we got in this little like weird world between both worlds, but kept going on into eventually becoming still R&B, still the flavor of R&B, but pop, contemporary pop R&B.
As artists, did it affect your songwriting as well?
Not me, because I really wasn't a songwriter. I was a singer who likes to write.
Yeah.
And I don't play a piano and I don't play a guitar. I tell you what note is what. But they tell me, many people that are far better and higher in this business than I am, that have a perfect pitch. It's just a God-given thing.
I would say that, but I'm not an expert.
I hear things in here, and I'm able to get someone to interpret it. To bring it
to. So you could basically say, "This is what I'm thinking," and then
yes, or maybe
sing
the
it or
melodies
hum
in my
it.
head. Yeah, and I hum it, and the pianist fools around. And I go, yeah, that's it, right there, right there, right there. That's where I want to go. That's how I do it. So as opposed to writers who really do know musical notes and usually are pianists, or really do know musical notes and usually are pianists or guitarists or your famous writers, and they just do it so easily because they can translate it from one thing to another. It's more complicated with people like me to be able to do that. Hear these things inside, these melodies and things. In fact, I never wrote anything that was significant as an artist. I wrote a lot of songs, but they were like B-sides, you know, or something that you would put on an album, you know, but
Yeah.
it wasn't the main song, you know. So
Now, like you said at the beginning of the interview, you've been at this for 69 years.
almost
What
69.
would you say is the key to your longevity with the fans? Because I am almost positive at your shows, you're seeing three generations of people at the shows. People who grew up with your music,
Yep. Yep.
their kids,
Yep.
and their kids. That must be a great feeling for you as an artist to see that the music is growing and continuing and continuing.
Yes. That by the grace of God, there go I. I'm able to sit here and still alive to talk and to speak about what happened then, which actually makes me a quasi historian in music. Didn't start out to be that way, but I've come a long way in the business, and I've went through three eras. The people that are people that are in the know tell me that we're the second singing group or solo artist that ever went through three. Frank Sinatra went through not generations, but six eras. The last part of 58, most of 60, and the start from 70, 70, 73, and with my relationship with my relationship with Tom Bell at Philly International and Gamble and Huff, and we had some success there. And they were writing for a group called the Stylistics, and quite a few other people. My mind doesn't catch up to it right now. I wanted to say it. I'm thinking about another group from Chicago. They get mad at me because I know the cats. But what was his name? But I just saw him the other day. But anyway, we were part of the beginning of the Philly sound, and of course that was the O'Jays, right? Eddie Levert and them, and all the wonderful people came out of there. In fact, Gamble told me. He said, "Man," he said, "we would you to sign with us." I said, we were a bunch of street kids, man, little gang members, man. We just happened to be singing, and we didn't have to go be gang bang, and so we didn't really have that understanding of what the business was all about. That's why they call it show. Understanding of what the business was all about. That's why they call it show business.
Yes,
we didn't have that. Okay, so we were like in the stone age of rock and roll, rhythm and blues at the time. So we were the experimental people that didn't get to see the promised land. We only looked at it, but we didn't get to go in. You know what I mean? Like today, the artists today are making, oh my goodness, unthinkable money. That what they did was like I've had Run DMZ, one of the cats that told me, well, we learned from watching y'all what not to do.
Wow.
So they told me, well, we learned from watching not to do.
Wow.
So they go in there with their lawyers, all their musical specialty lawyers, and before they even sign a contract. We were so glad to sing, man. We would sign our thing. We'll sign the side of a wall in the bathroom and thought we could get a recording contract.
I know that feeling. That was how I started my DJ career. I'd have played for a crowd of one.
Yeah. We were blind, baby. We were just doing it until we started saying, wait a minute, something's wrong here. Money's going the wrong way. How come we're not getting our share that money? We're the ones doing it. And took a long time. Unfortunately, you look around, and you start reflecting upon your life as I in my twilight of my years, and you go, that was cool, but that wasn't cool. Why did I do that? Because I did it because I thought it was a good idea at the time. Cool, but that wasn't cool. Why did I do that? Because I thought it was a good idea at the time. So that was
Exactly.
the way I came to a point of resting and not blaming anybody. Or that many of my contemporaries are bitter and angry and oh, they're mentally drawn and oh, I didn't get this. Yeah, but I mean, Willie Mays said something. The great Willie Mays baseball player said they once asked him a question. They said, "How do you feel about all these guys making $25 million to sign and the bonuses 15 million?" And he, the highest he,
Looking fly too.
oh boy, oh boy. Well, things were the standard of living was way cheaper than that. Where the penny was a penny, you can get
Yep.
something with a penny. You can't do that no more. I think they talked about getting rid of it. But this is a different era, a different time, and I'm very conscious of that. I'm one of these guys that's an old geezer with a young guy inside me. He's 32 years old, but he don't know it. That's an old geezer with a young guy inside me. He's 32 years old, but he don't know it. So please, don't tell anybody because it breaks his heart when he finds he's not 32.
Lips are sealed.
Yeah, thank you.
I tell everybody I'm 62 going on 12. So,
Yeah. Oh, no.
but the thing that I love about you is you're so happy. You seem to be in a Zen place right now, and I guess it's got a lot to do with the fans that love you and some of the different accolades. Now, I could go for 10 minutes on the accolades, and that's not why you did this. But I
No.
do want to touch on a couple, two that really stick out for me. Induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2009 with the Imperials.
Mm-hmm.
And also, let me get the date right. In 2018, you were put into the Rhythm and Blues Music Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Those to me,
Yeah, it's like I turn my.
those to me,
Yeah, it's like
say it all.
I can move
Because
right here and see if some of them back there. You can
Yeah.
see some of the awards sitting around.
Yeah, because that's got to be a way of telling you that what you did was right.
Yeah,
And like you said yourself, what you were meant to do.
I think that from a standpoint of your peers, whatever your peers, not the public's going to go out there and be in the audience and go, yeah. That's how you get your confirmation from them that they like you.
That's the
Okay?
immediacy of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you get that right away.
But when your peers who were in the wars, they're on the front lines of this chauvinist that we are in, and the stories are so many that we share with each other, about our challenges and this and that, and we realize that it is very, very important that when a guy says, say another singer who's very famous like Smokey
There's
Robinson.
another great
Yeah, well,
voice.
I just I didn't talk to him. He just sent me a message on Facebook, but in Messenger. But I'm hooking up with him. I'm going to be having a conversation with him on my radio show. But in any event, oh, by the way, that's on Sirius Raise Gold. Thank you very much.
Very cool.
So anyway, is when I remember this award was nowhere near as prestigious as other awards that we had, and the guys have received. But I remember we got an award, and I don't know who called me. I think it was Jim Gilstrap or someone says, "Hey man, they want to give you an award in LA." And I was living in Las Vegas at the time, and one of the Imperials was living there, Clarence. And they said they want to give you, because we can't get all the guys together to do it, so there were different parts of the country. So could you and Clarence come and get this award? It's this and that. And Barry Gordon, Clarence come and get this award. It's this and that. And Barry Gordy's going to be there. Smokey Robinson's going there. And they're dropping all these names. I'm going, what? What kind of award is this? In fact, it's right the one with the microphone back there.
Yep.
And I was going wondering, well, what is it about? So we go to Beverly Hills Hotel, beautiful, and then setting up in the stage and the whole bit. And I looked down, and they asked me, just sing a few lines of, I forget, was it Tears on My Pillow or somebody? Going on my head, it hurt so bad. I'm not sure what it was. I don't remember, several years ago. But I think it was Hurt So Bad. And there I looked down on my right, and I saw Smokey Robinson. I'm looking all
That's
these
him.
yeah, and I'm going, how did I get here? Looking all
That's
these yeah, and I'm going, how did I get here?
Yeah, that's got to be the thing. Sometimes you must pinch yourself and say, like, is this
Yes.
really happening?
Is this what? I mean, I could tell we could talk for hours upon. We don't have that much time, but I have been.
Hey, if you're available, I will extend the time. I do
You,
not. I am the
I
station
just had.
manager. I can do what I want.
I just had to say this
Let's do
because
this.
I'm
Let's
more than people
enjoy.
think. Yeah, more than people think. As much as I can expose to them, may not meaning to make change anybody's thinking or anything like this. I'm telling you who I am. My longevity is by the grace of God. I came out of a family that were all gospel singers and Christian gospel singers. My mother sang with the Nazareth Baptist and Christian gospel singers. My mother sang with the Nazareth Baptist gospel singers. My dad was a musician. All my aunts were gospel singers. I knew Sam Cooke when he wasn't Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke. He was Sarah's, the gospel group. He used to come to my Aunt Sarah's house in Harlem, church. So I knew Sam. I knew Leslie Ugly. Came up with just meetings. We were just performers that were trying to do what we had to do. And like I said, seeing one of those performers out there, and Barry Gordy, sitting out there in that audience, and I'm singing, and they're going, and I remember Smokey took his handkerchief out. He's going, that
Oh man.
is what we as performers love. And I'm sure in your business, when other people, jockeys or interviewers like you, or pod people or whatever, they tell you, man, your show, man, ooh, that was cool, man. It something happens.
Well, like for you, for me, as a radio show host, I do a morning show as well as my interview show. At one point, I was heard in 19 countries
Woo!
around the world. And even though I'm doing my show in English, well, very bad Canadian English, but English nonetheless. But you know, I was popular in Mexico, Japan, the Ukraine. You know, like, and for me, like that. And last year I was nominated and won third place for International Radio Show Host of the Year. And that's out of all the radio show hosts, there was 200 radio show hosts from around the world, and I came in third. And to me, that is such an honor that people appreciate what I've done. And that's why I chased after you for this interview, because I appreciate what you've done. Even though I wasn't there when it happened, I came along a little late. I can remember sitting in my mom's restaurant. I was only a little guy, and the jukebox playing the Supremes, Smokey, you, Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers.
Oh, Frankie. Oh,
You know, like, and stuff like that. And I just remember anytime I hear those songs, I smile.
I do too.
You know, that's what happened. I just smile. The memories come flooding back. Like I said, of being in my mom's restaurant. When I hear the music playing, I can smell the French fries cooking and the burgers.
Well, yeah.
I can
This is the
hear
same
my
thing for me.
mom calling the customers honey.
The same for me. The
You
same for
know,
me. I mean, I was Gary Moore is a friend of mine, a disc jockey in Frisco. Well, he was well known for years and years. We say friends, and so we always kid with each other because he likes to do puns on Facebook.
Ah,
So we do this thing back and forth for years, and it makes people happy. They laugh at what we do with each other. And he was telling me, man, the same thing you're saying is it's for Bodum. He, oh man, I wasn't there. I came later, but in my house they sang. Isn't that something? Where
yep.
the guys from Frisco, and are you from? Where are you from? Canada?
I'm in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, just
Are you in
outside
Hamilton? I've
Toronto.
been there. I've been there. But I'm part Canadian. My uncles, then my cousins are Canadians.
Do you
But
know
anyway,
Jackie Washington?
no, no, I
Harrison
don't.
Kennedy, chairman
No,
of the board?
nope. I don't know
Um,
them, but I know my uncle, my uncles up there, Uncle Henry and them. Yeah, yeah. Gordine is my last name, which is quite common.
right.
And so I spent a lot of time in Canada. My goodness, forget that. I mean, I can't even. I've been in every province, every one of them. Up to Quebec, man. I couldn't even speak French. I
Oh,
mean, like I was
welcome to
in
my
Paris
life.
somewhere. Yeah, Kitchener, Canada. You name it. Oh man, Calgary. Oh, gee, stories of the stories, all the different places that we have been. Saskatchewan. There was a place we were in Canada, man, called Moose Jaw. I said,
You
what?
were in Moose Jaw,
Moose
Saskatchewan.
Jaw.
That's awesome.
We're going, what the heck? No. So I understand. Dude, we were really, all of us in the arts, and you're in the arts, by the way, because you give a service to people and are dealing with music and you pass on whatever you have in that area as a spokesman for us. So we're all kind of connected anyway. But the same experiences you have, and I guarantee you I've had. Like you said, I think of French fries when I get my mom, or you say, as we say in England, mum, hey, I remember all this stuff. And yeah, me too. Me too. Because
Now,
there was a group called the Flamingos.
right.
This is 1954. I may be wrong. Fact checkers, y'all can check, see. It could be 54, 53. I think it was 54. I was about 13. They did something, and how they did it, actually Jake and them guys told me they didn't even know how they did it. But they used a deeper echo thing, and there was only 4 tracks in those days. And they were able, for some reason, to maybe almost make mono sound stereo without it being stereo. How do you do that?
Yeah.
They just, the way the engineer was and what they were doing and what they were able to do with the technology they had there, which is very limited, and only 4 tracks. They recorded a song that to this day resonates with me. I've said this when people ask me, "Who's your favorite song?" They think I'm going to say maybe Gladys Knight or somebody. Yeah, I love it. Great, love them all. Nat Cole, everybody. But there's one song called Golden Teardrops. Golden Teardrops was the first time I can hear all of us who sang, hear the bass separated, the second tenor separated, Paul was the second tenor, Johnny Carter was the first tenor. I don't remember who the lead singer was in those days. It wasn't Nate Nelson. Nate Nelson came later. But the way they separated everything were way ahead of their time. And that was 53. Flash forward, 1959, they did a thing called Only Have Eyes for You, which became an anthem. You see it in commercials. You see it everywhere to this day.
Right. Yeah.
Terry and I have been friends for years. He's the one that actually did all of the producing of it. And he was the tenor at that time. And so I bring this up because that's what was profound to me as a other artist admiring another artist and what
Yeah.
they did. And that song resonates with me every time I hear it. I'm that kid of 13 years ago. You're going,
Yep. Yeah. I hear you. Now, when you play, when you do, when you are singing, when you are recording, is your goal the same as mine. I don't care how much I make. I don't care how
No,
many listeners I have. I
no.
care that the ones that are listening are enjoying what I'm doing.
Yes,
If I can, my goal is to make one person smile,
absolutely.
and then hopefully that smile will grow to others. Would that be the same for you?
Absolutely. Hmm. Because Lou Simon, who we call, I want me to get mad, but he has to say, we call, the cats above us suits, the cats
Yep.
suits.
And
And
I know them
you
well.
know about that. Anyway, I used to go over to cousin Bruce Morrow's show all the time, hang out with cousin Brucey, and over there at Sirius Radio
Yeah,
a
I
lot.
actually follow him on my Facebook page.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Keep an eye out for the friendship request coming.
Okay. I'll look for you. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Um. Cousin Brucey and I, but we like, he's like 90, almost 90. I mean, and we've known each other all these years, and we were talking about all this kind of stuff, and then I met a man by the name of Steve Leeds up there, and then he introduced me to all the heavies and up there. And it just happened that they called me one day, said, can you do an interview for us for Black History Week with one of the stations that are R&B black station type thing in Sirius. I forget what station that was. They're very famous, well known. And I said, sure. And the lady, we did a Zoom, just like we're doing down, you and me. And it was a scheduled half-hour uh, interview. It lasted an hour and a half. It was because, here's the deal. Check this out. She's talking to me about civil rights and all of the things of those days. And I would always say, like I had my hand, I said, yeah, no, I was there. And then she
Yeah,
would say
that's
it
the
again. I said,
thing.
yeah, I know, I was there. She said, what do you mean you were there? Because I was there. I was in the middle of it. No one knew it, but I was traveling in the South. I was traveling all over the states in the South, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Aldosa, blah, 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 bada bing, bada bang, everywhere. At this time in 1958, where I was in segregation, my mother was from Savannah, Georgia, and she told me, "You're not in New York City. You're going down there, and this is what you have to do, or you're going to get in some really bad trouble." And how you're a kid, you go, "Yeah, ma, yeah, all right."
Yeah.
And I went down there, me and the Imperials, all a bunch of street cats, yeah. And we were faced with reality when we went to Virginia for the first time in Richmond, Virginia. When the bus stopped, it stopped this very seedy place across the tracks, which was supposed to be a hotel. And I can remember that room. That room had a radio that you had to put a quarter in to listen to the radio for about an hour. There was no TV. It's 1958. There was a light hanging up like this, but there's little old bulbs. That was
Yeah.
in my bed. Yeah.
And you pull the chain.
You pull the chain and you took whatever. I'm laying in that bed, and it was Christmas Eve in 1958. And for the first time in my life, I said, what is this? This is show business? I got the number one record in the world, and this is show business? The reality as a black man came very quick, dude. And
I
I
can
remember my
imagine.
mother said, yes. And from then on, it was one humiliation after another. As we got deeper and deeper into the South, it got worse and worse and worse and worse. And it was for Laverne Baker, people like that, Bo Diddley, and all the ones that knew, who had been through that war, they would be my teacher, our teacher. Look, no, you can't do this. You could do that. No, you can't do this. Red Fox. All of us were on that road. And you could do, I lived it. So by doing that, when I was talking, it gave me validity. It gave me credibility. Really. And the lady that was interviewing me she was like, what? Oh yeah, I knew Redden Abernathy. I knew Dr. King. I met all these people in my journey. I was there when they tried to, the cop took his gun out and said he could shoot me if he wanted to. And I'm supposed to be this big star, right?
Yeah.
And this is what we went through. So from that, a man by the name of Lou Simon at Sirius Radio was riding his car in Jersey, as he tells me, one of the top cats there, and he heard me. He said, "Boy, gosh, little Anthony, I never thought of it that way, you know." And I get a call from Steve Leeds out there, says, "Man, are you interested in your own radio show? Well, let's talk about how we want you to kind of mix that together with your the records you play and all that." Because originally we started out, I was going to just do the 50s R&B stuff, rock and roll, all that. And ended up going from Teresa Brewer to Dean Martin to it just was a mishmash of people that were very successful at that time. And it just happened because of my experiences of meeting a lot of those people and sharing with them that's how I got the radio show. And from that, many of my contemporaries and my peers were angry and mean and hurt. And it changed their personalities. It changed their outlook in life. They changed everything about them. And she asked me, "But you don't seem, you said the same thing. You seem to be," I said, "Lady, by the grace of God, I'm here. Number one, I live one day at a time. I'm not guaranteed tomorrow. And that my life is not my own. You know, I never like to tell people what you should do or what you can't do. I'll tell you who I am. And if there's any reason why I'm here, like I told a lady one time I was signing my autograph, she said, what do you do with your voice? How do you take care of your voice? How do you do that?" I said, "I don't do anything. In fact, I did everything in my life when I was young to kill it. You know, I mean, drugs, drinking, you name it, I did it. I lived the life." And I said, "Lady, out of my heart," I said, "It's not me." I said, "This is not my voice. It's not natural. It's supernatural. Lady, sometimes I hit notes and I go, what? How did I get there?
Yeah. You're singing away and in your head you're going, did I just do that?
Did I just do that?" And I'm going, whoa, well, there's something higher than me. I know that it's real. I know that I'm talking to you now to tell all your listening audience, this little Anthony. My name is Jerome Anthony Gordine. I am a saloon singer. I've been in this business for 69 years and love every minute of it, even to the day. No, I'm not bitter and I'm not angry what I went through. No, I came out of that world better by the grace of God, because most of my contemporaries didn't. They came out bitter, angry. Some of them died. Some of them overdosed. Some of them did whatever. For me, I always said, then I have a purpose. And that purpose is that this opportunity, like a lady said, she said to me, it was a really interesting lady on Sirius. She said, you really like doing interviews and talking to people. I said, yeah. This is, to me, I was waiting, looking at my clock until I got the call about somebody passing on, my friend. I'm looking to talk to, I know who I'm talking to, but I get a chance to talk to someone, to the audience, wherever I can find them, like you said, whoever will listen to me. I get this great opportunity that a lot of people don't get. A forum, a stage, a megaphone, to be able to say to people, no, I'm not angry. No, this is it. No, this is God in me. I can tell them who I am. I'm not trying to convert anybody, but this is who I am.
Right.
I am so grateful to be alive. I'm enjoying every bit of this conversation when talking to you. And this is the first time I met you. And because I want to tell people, you don't have to razzle and dazzle. Oh, when did you start? When did you do this and that? I remember the great George Burns used to say, they keep asking me the same question, so I started lying. Little different stories because he got bored.
See, I try not to grill. I don't want it to be a grilling. I want it to be a conversation. I want it to
A
be
conversation. Thank you, sir. Yes. That's what happened. I'm not being interviewed.
no.
Since you actually in this room with me and we're talking.
Yeah, and I'm thoroughly enjoying our conversation. I mean,
you said something with profound. You said, when I hear these music and songs and things, I think of the French fries of my mom. And the first thing in my mind said, well, he was close to his mom.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
By the way, I got a
the things
picture.
I did.
Yeah, because it came out of you. Then you triggered me. See, now I can talk. Hey, because he's going to understand what I'm saying. He's going to get me.
See,
This is
I
what
was
we do.
very lucky because I mentioned earlier Harrison Kennedy and Jackie Washington,
Yeah.
both Canadian blues icons up here.
Hmm.
And I can remember sitting around with Jackie Washington and his brothers. They were called the Washingtons.
Hmm.
And I can remember sitting around and them singing just to sing.
Yeah.
And we weren't at a bar, we weren't at a
No, no,
saloon, we
no,
weren't,
no.
we were just in the living room and they were singing. And Jackie, I'm friends with his son for over 50 years. And he is one of my idols, Jackie. And, I don't have very many idols because I'm very wary of idols because they say that you never want to have an idol because sometimes they don't live up to your expectations.
Most of the time.
But I can say without a shadow of a doubt, Jackie Washington lived up to that. And what I know of you now, you have lived up to that. Not just for me, but for all your fans. You have lived up to that. And you should be very proud of who you are, what you've become, and what you're going to do moving forward.
You know, a lot of times people don't know that entertainers, just people like everybody else, they put their pants on, same maybe you do, go to the bathroom, they get sick, they get scared, they're happy, they're sad. They raise children, they do good with them and they do bad with them. All the things that everybody else does. The difference with us is we just do something that most people can't or unable to do or well. So like people can shoot basketballs. I
Yep.
can't shoot a basketball. I admire them because they can. That's why they make the big bucks. And baseball and football, it doesn't matter. Or great lawyers or great anybody. But we're still human beings created by God and designed to be able to share their experiences in life, whether positive or negative. I go through things just like you folks out there. I mean, I go through challenges right now. A little different. Oh boy, oh. I go through all of that. But in all of that though, I get this one time to talk the way I'm talking and or get on stage and sing, and that becomes my world. It's like my wife said, it's something about when you go on stage, as if you're at the greatest peace. You're at peace. Yeah, when I'm singing good, when I'm not singing good, I don't feel so fun. But when I'm singing good, yeah, it's a wonderful place. I get to stand in front of people, thousands of them sometimes, hundreds sometimes, maybe whatever. And I'm looking at them, and we are now having a love affair with one another.
Yes.
The I don't have a set show. I'm really an improv guy, mainly. I really actually things will happen inside my head and then I'll translate it because I call me a pro, whatever that is. But
I get accused of that all the time.
I don't know. Anyway, I call experiences because been there, done that. I've been there so many times that I understand that audience and what they would do. Like I was talking to another entertainer friend of mine. Well, just the other day when we were talking about when Gladys and I told me, oh, we came up, Anthony, when it was nothing but a mic and a light, long before all this technology and stuff. And so our whole world was we had to go out there and do it. I know you heard of the Apollo Theater,
Yep.
and yeah, it's everything you heard about is true. This audience was the toughest audience on the planet. You talking about the Grand Ole Opry audience? They're babies. They're lovely compared to Apollo. Because then people they work a whole month to get in there, and they got this attitude: when you're up on stage, you better entertain me. I done paid every dollar and be penny I had. You better entertain me. You get like, whoa.
Yeah, no
And
pressure.
that's priceless because from that I carry those things from me. I carry what Red Fox told to me. I carry what Mom's Mabley told to me. Baby, you got to learn how to enter. You got to learn how to exit. I used to say, what the heck is ending the exit about? It's a part of show business, the little things, she said, and how to go on the stage and how to leave the stage. Sammy Davis told me, He said, you start big, you end big, and the middle will take care of itself. I can go on and on and on, and each one of us gave something to each other. And the joy of being on stage or even discussing anything about it or talking to you or your audience is to explain to the audience, man, here I am. This is really who I am. I just happen to sing good.
And with
That
that,
ain't always the case. Not every gig, you know. I was at a rehearsal last night with a whole band doing the thing coming up in my church, and we're doing this thing this Sunday. But we had all the choir and everybody, whatever. We had a bunch of people, there, musicians, and I told them cats, I said, I'm gonna tell you right now, man, I'm a lousy rehearsaler.
yeah, that's my thing. I can't. I hate practice.
Oh gosh, I don't like it. Never did, never will. But it's necessary. But I'm saying I don't give anything that I would when I'm on stage. When I'm on stage, it's showtime, bell rings. Oh, now
Yep,
come out.
I'll give you 100%.
Now you fighting. And now you in the like
Well, I would like to ask you if you would do me the honor of a couple months from now. Let's do this again. I'd like to touch base with you in a couple
Sure.
months, see what's happening.
Yep.
We'll pick on Tony a little bit.
Yep.
And you know, I like I said, I am so honored to have had the opportunity to meet you. Like I said, I love your music, and I have a thing that I do in my show. I play a song before the interview, and I play a song after the interview. And as I introduced, I did "Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Bop."
Oh, great.
Beginning.
One of my favorites. Oh.
You ready for this one?
What?
I will be playing "Going Out of My Head"
One of my
from
favorites.
1964. Went to
That's
number
a remake.
4
Yeah.
on Billboard and has been covered to death.
That's a
And
remake.
everybody loves.
Oh no, that's the original one.
music.
That's the original one. I'm sorry. We did something else that was a remake. But yes, that was well, it was a whole story, man. We'd have to do this some of the time because like I said, it's just too much. I live too much. It's just so much that
All right, well, let's do that. We'll talk about some of the songs, how they came about, and what they mean in our next chat. And in the meantime, thank you very much. My guest
you,
has
sir.
been one of my honored guests,
Thank you.
Little Anthony from Little Anthony and the Imperials. I am so happy to have met you. Don't go away. I'm going to be taking us off the air, and I just have a quick question for you before we go.
Oh, by the way, someone that ended up some Little Anthony.
Go ahead.
But I do come from Little Anthony and Drew. Yes.
But right now, it is Little Anthony and the Imperials. This is Going Out of My Head from 1964.
That's what it is.
Thanks a lot for listening. Take care.
Sir.
Be good. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Some folks like to get away, take a holiday from the neighborhood. Hop a flight to Miami Beach or to Hollywood. But I'm taking a Greyhound on that Hudson River line. I'm in a New York state of mind. I've seen all the movie stars and the fancy cars and the limousines. been high in the Rockies under the evergreens. But I know what I'm needing, and I don't want to waste more time. I'm in a New York state of mind. It was so easy living day by day, out of touch with the rhythm and blues. But now I need a little give and take. The New York Times, the Daily News. It comes down to reality, and it's fine with me, 'cause I've let it slide. Don't care if it's Chinatown up on the riverside. Oh, I don't have no reasons, I left them all behind. I'm in a New York state of mind. It was so easy living day by day, out of touch with the rhythm and blues. But now I need a little give and take. The New York Times, the Daily News. Down to reality, and it's fine with me, 'cause I've let it slide. Don't care if it's Chinatown or up on the riverside. I don't have any reasons, left them all behind. I'm in a New York state of mind. Taking a Greyhound on that Hudson River line. I'm in a New York I'm in a New York state of mind. Oh yes, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Well, I think I'm going out of my head. Yes, I think I'm going. Well, I think I'm going out of my head. Yes, I think I'm going out of my head over you. Over you. I want you to want me. I need you so badly, I can't think of anything but you. 'cause I can't explain the tears that I shed over you, over you. I see you each morning, but you just walk past me. You don't even know that I exist. Going out of my head over you, out of my head over you, out of my head day and night, night and day and night. Alright, I must be the way to yours. There's no reason why my being shy should keep us apart. And I think I'm going out of my head. Yes, I think I'm going out of my head. Going